Hi, how's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Debutify podcast, the premier e-commerce podcast brought to you by Debutify. I'm your host, Alex Bond, and joining me today is Julia Nesterets, the CEO and co-founder of JetOctopus, a SaaS-based crawler and log file analyzer. On this episode, Julia and I discuss crawling and log line analysis, the gamification of SEO analysis, branding a SaaS company, and much more. Here's our interview now. Julia, welcome to the show.
Hello, Alex. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I'm very good and feeling really excited to have a great talk today. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, very happy to have you. And I really appreciate you rescheduling so quickly too. 24 hours is a great turnaround time. So that means a lot to me. My first question for you, Julia, is kind of just a bit about JetOctopus, your company at large. Could you just tell me a little bit about that?
JetOctopus is a cloud-based technical on-page SEO platform, like all-in-one platform for on-page technical analysis. So there are different models. You are, as a digital marketer, as an SEO expert, you have the fastest crawler on the market that can scan your website up to 250 pages per second. Then you have the log analyzer, which visualizes the Googlebot's behavior at your website, and you do understand which part of the website is visible and which is ignored and what to change, so to increase your site visibility. Then we have the Google Search Console model, really on steroids, that gives extensive tools to work with your keywords, cannibalizations, keywords, etc. We have also a very powerful model, which is alerts, absolutely beloved by digital agencies because they just become another level of partners for their customers, because it is them who finds out if something is broken in terms of SEO, and they're capable just to fix that right away and not get the SEO drop. So it is a very powerful platform where you are capable to do everything with your own page and to make your SEO visualized, doable, and predictable at the end of the day.
No, that's beautiful. And I've talked with a few people about SEO, and with a crawler and obviously all these other services that you provide, I'm curious on a very basic level, what you would consider is the ultimate solution that JetOctopus provides to clients. I mean, is it as simple as just increasing visibility, or how would you describe that?
The ultimate value for, let's say, e-commerce websites, this is to increase your crawl budget, your site indexability, your site visibility, because when you are working on a big e-commerce website, there are a lot of web pages, and the crawl budget is really the top priority. And our tool is the best one to visualize what is crawl budget is right now. So what is the site visibility right now, and how to increase it to the full, because this is the only way how to get new rankings, because your main customer is the Google bot. If it doesn't visit your pages, they will never be ranked. That's why for the big e-commerce websites, the log analyzer is absolutely the best on the market. If you speak about the digital agencies, we don't charge for the domains, we don't charge for the number of users, etc. We don't care actually about that. And we give a lot of tools for you to optimize your routine, so you don't have to pick up these customers to work during these months and those customers to analyze that month. You have all at hand in one account at place, really affordable and automatic, and which lets you work on a regular basis with your 100 customers on a regular basis. So it dramatically increases your efficiency and decreases your churn.
No, that's wonderful, because I was just extremely curious. I guess what I'm trying to ask is what some people might use it for and what someone might see as the solution, and what you, who, co-founded and runs the company, what you see for the solution can be two very different things. So are people often using it maybe the way it's intended, or are they finding maybe even creative ways to use it that you didn't even really imagine?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, really. We are actually always working on this particular process because we have our understanding of aha moment for different types of the customers for our platform. and we are doing our best so to make this user follow the funnel we want him to follow. And I do understand that sometimes they follow other way, and it all depends on their experience, first of all, on what they used to use before. And usually the crawler is the most attractive because it is the most understandable. And if we speak about the log analyzer, like 3 years ago, almost no one really knew something specific about that and understood the value of it. And we've spent a lot of time educating the market and writing a lot of articles dedicated to the efficiency of log files analysis. I mean, SEO log files analysis. And that is just the deal breaker, actually, and game changer. And you will never be more effective without your logs visualization, and your decisions will never be more effective when you have the picture and understanding how Googlebot behaves because of these optimizations, what impact these optimizations had on the behavior on Googlebot on your website. And as I already said, the Googlebot is your main customer. You have to understand his behavior on your website, and you have to multiply those things that impact your site visibility.
No, that's beautiful. You mentioned earlier that part of the problem is multiple pages. And I don't mean like several, I mean millions or hundreds of thousands. And one of the things that JetOctopus prides itself on is that it has no limit in the amount of pages that it can crawl. I guess my question is, how important is that no limit ability on crawling and logline analysis to your business model?
That's the great question. And that's the absolutely killing pro of JetOctopus comparing to other competitors. Why? Initially, JetOctopus was built for the big and huge websites, and we have a lot of customers with like millions and even hundreds of millions pages. And usually this type of, and actually JetOctopus was born from our own pain. Our previous business had like 5 million pages, and we know how to work with big data, etc., etc. And this type of the customer, they got used to work with partial data. The number one reason is because, for example, they use the desktop crawlers, and this is really the pain to crawl the whole website. Absolutely impossible, actually, because it will take ages and it paralyzes your PC, etc. From the other hand, if we speak about the cloud-based solutions, they just charge too much. So to get full data, that's why even they don't have such a concept that you have to have this full data, because it's impossible to have based on their pricing. We've entered this market from our own pain, having the mission like to make an SEO world a better place and to make a really powerful platform for big websites, which is affordable not only to enterprise companies, but to all customers who have more than 100K pages. Because when you have 100K pages, you have to need the correlating tools to be effective in terms of SEO. Because when you just work with 10% of your website and you start multiplying these results of this audit to the rest of the website, this is a very harmful approach, because the crawler doesn't make this slice of your website, So the logic of crawler and Googlebot's behavior as well. So it visits the first page and then it finds the links on this page to other pages, and it starts spreading, That's why you can crawl like this 10% of the website and never knowing what is going on here, and you will multiply these results to the rest, and this will not be the right decisions. And in our case, we've built dramatically better solution in terms of even architecture of our platform. So we build it dramatically other way. And we are capable to get all your data and to process it quickly and to show you the full picture of your website without any predictions, that having 10% of the website, you have to think that maybe this is the same picture as the rest of the website. It's not working this way. And in JetOctopus, you don't care about anything. You just crawl your full website. You just have all your logs for the month or for a year, and you can visualize. This is your full website. What part of the website is visited by Googlebot for the month? This is a good period to analyze. And then we have the sections dedicated why this part of the website is visited and this part is not visited. And you just get this problematic URLs which are ignored and optimize these technical criteria which are impactful on Googlebot behavior. Answering back the question of why it matters, because it just makes the only way of the right SEO analysis of a big website and of the right decisions, not predictions. So your SEO becomes not hypothetical, but absolutely understandable, absolutely visualized and predictable, because you definitely know what is working and you definitely know what didn't have any impact, and you just don't need to implement those optimizations to the rest of the website because it doesn't work in your case.
Absolutely. And I find it so fascinating that it sounds like these companies, I don't understand how you'd be able to compare two web pages when you only scanned one of them or you only crawled one of them. And so to take 10% and try to apply that in mass onto an entire website.
Yeah, you are just unable, for example, to analyze your interlinking structure. Just one of the use cases. So very important thing, interlinking structure for the big website. This is one of the most impactful criteria. And when you have just 10% of your website, you are unable to see any interlinking and you won't be able to do any optimizations there. That's why when you work on a big website, you have to have the powerful correlating tools which can manage your volumes, process them quickly, and visualize the insights for you. That's where we are very strong.
And I'm curious if this ability as a brand to crawl as many pages as you want has landed you bigger clients, because I can't imagine a lot of small companies have more pages on their website than the bigger companies, especially when it comes to stores or Shopify stores or any example like that. Is that the case? Has this actually helped you land bigger clients than, say, maybe the last company that you worked at?
Yes, our unlimited packages, they are really beloved by big customers who have a lot of, like, more than 2 domains in different geographies, and each of these domains have then more than 1 million pages there. Their usual behavior model is that they have to pick up the priority because it is all about the budget, etc., etc., etc. And not in our case. So in our case, you just pick up the needed volume where you want work on. I mean, the volume of the pages. And we just give you unlimited solution there, and you forget about everything. And we've landed a lot of companies, like classifieds are really they are fond of these unlimited solutions because they have a lot of pages there. The classifieds with different domains or with one domain in different geographies. Then we have a lot of, like, real estate websites, after websites, e-commerce websites. So we have Amazon in Greece, which is like Scroots.gr. This is a huge website and they are very tough at SEO. They have a lot of tools inside. And at the end of the day, after several calls, they just had a look at the platform and said that anyway we want it. So the customers who have more than 1 million pages, they are really fond of these unlimited solutions because usually they have to pick up, they have to prioritize, they have to choose and to skip something to avoid some not so important domains for now. And right now they don't need to do it. They have the right solution at hand to work on a regular basis with all the websites under their management and with all the pages under their management.
I'm curious about the brand in and of itself of JetOctopus. So some of the graphics, upon looking at your website, doing a little research about y'all, the graphics and the general UX of the website give me the implication that part of the JetOctopus brand is to kind of like gamify SEO analysis. Is that off base? Is that accurate?
Actually, if you speak about the name and why it is Octopus and why it is Jet.
That is a follow-up question, honestly, because I felt like that was part of it. It felt like a video game type name.
Actually, the initial idea was not just to make something fun, but we have the history. We have like several tools. And initially, there were different animals for these tools. For example, we had like sitemap koala, or different like analytical tools like OWL was the analytical tools, etc. And we were in the sort of like SEO zoo tools. We had such a concept. And when we've been thinking about the crawler, we started to think what it is doing, what this algorithm is doing, how it is working. And it is spreading. It is spreading through the whole website, his hands. And that's why it is Octopus. So that this is not the accidental name. Why Jet? Because our crawler is absolutely the fastest on the market. And this is very, very important for big brands like Wallapop is our brand, or Swiss Marketplace Group is our brand, or like the big digital agency Cadastra, like number one in Brazil. So this is really, really important for them. And that's why Jet is not also the accidental name here.
No, that's great. And I'm kind of curious, if you don't mind me asking, like the octopus is quite quirky, and the e-commerce industry feel like, if I'm being totally frank with you, the e-commerce community is known for pretty self-serious branding a lot of times, where everything's very, I don't know, kind of ergonomic and defined and typography, and everything's very straight. I mean, there's not a lot of room for companies that come in with a lot of like personality. I feel like people might not take them seriously or something. Don't get me wrong. I really like what you did with the brand. It was one of the first things that kind of jumped out at me, as I was like, whoa, this is kind of like a kid's game, something that my 8-year-old would play, but it's obviously more intense than that. My question, Julia, is, do you consider it pretty risky to kind of brand the company this way?
Actually, frankly speaking, we never thought about that as risky. From the other hand, we do understand that it is different. It is absolutely different from our main competitors on the market. And we still have the logic in this name. So this is like not the accidental name. We have this logic why we just call that. And we are 5 years old already. And actually, we've never had such a problem like you have a sort of like gamification brand or something like that. I am open, and I must confess that during like the first year, like the first 2 years of our life, we had this sort of like, you are newcomers and you have to show something, you have to prove something, etc., etc. But I think that was not because of the brand visualization. That was just the stage of the company, the usual way when the newcomers enter the market. You have to do something really exciting to prove your expertise, etc., etc., and then they will start perceiving you another way, and you have to get some traction, etc., some reviews, feedback, etc. So back to the question, we've never had such a problem that was not too serious. Not serious enough for serious companies, because as I say, like for many years or more than 2 years, we're working with really corporate customers like in Switzerland, like Swiss Marketplace Group. There are a lot of brands inside this corporation. They're working with us at least for third year or something like that. Or like the Wallapop, the number one on Spanish market, like classified. And all of these customers like really enterprise, or this Cadastra digital agency in Brazil. So they're like top players on their markets. And we never had such a problem. The most important thing is the additional value you offer them comparing to the solution, what they use right now. And they are dramatic, really.
Yeah, the work's going to speak for itself 9 times out of 10. And I find it fun to be working with a company that has a little personality. I mean, even just the video that I saw was pretty funny. You're kind of like, who are we video on the homepage. It was kind of funny. And you don't really see that often.
Yes, exactly. And actually, When we are right now, visiting different conferences, etc., there are a lot of these stands, booths of our competitors, etc., and they look really, really similar to each other. They have even really similar names. They have some soul crawl in their name, and we look really different. And it is good for the brand because it is easy to remember, and we have a very good creative banners, like marketing campaigns where we can play with this octopus in different ways. For example, the fastest scroll on the market, we have a really, really great creative campaign when it is the octopus driving a car and it is a really, really strong wind, in his head, and he's like, ugh. And this gives us pros even in marketing, because we all know that there are a lot of information, a lot of all these banners, marketing campaigns around us. We are neutral to all of that, so we don't care about it, and we start getting some attraction and start getting some interest when something is different, and it is good for us when we have this personalization of a brand. Only us have the personalization of the brand compared to our main competitors. I'm sorry.
And we're definitely about to jump into that conversation. Just to wrap up kind of the branding piece, I wanted to ask Julia if that kind of gamification of the brand makes you more accessible to clients than some other businesses might. I can imagine there are very similar brands who just dump information into a client's hand and says, deal with it. I'm sitting here looking at a spreadsheet of 1,000 million numbers and figures, and I think, at least from what your website says, there's a lot of really cool graphs, and it definitely feels more to the touch a little bit. And so I'm curious if that was intended to make it more accessible to clients so that you have more variety in the type of brands that are using your crawler.
Yeah, actually, this is one of our central approach to making any product updates on the platform. As I said, we are initially from the big business ourselves, me and my partner, and we do know this pain of working with a lot of data in different sheets and trying to merge it and get some insights, whatever. That's why we are working hard on, first of all, on visualizing the data. So not these limitless spreadsheets of URLs with problems, but we try to visualize the big picture, like the helicopter view of all the problems you have with the scale of the problem for you, just for the 2 minutes to understand where to start. Because, for example, when you are starting learning these sheets of URLs, each URL will have some issues, some problems, etc. And you will start fixing something, but that was actually not the biggest priority, because actually, for example, this type of issue, only 1% of your pages have this type of issue. And we have just one chart in our crawl overview. So when your website is scanned, this is the first chart you get. Get all your problems by categories with the scale of this problem. So for example, and all of your errors are red. And for example, the HTML will be the highest column, and 70% of your website have duplicates. And for example, 10% of your website have some issues within links. It is understandable for you, so that you have to start with HTML, because this is one type of the problem that you will fix just in one sprint, and it will impact 70% of your website. So it will definitely have the big impact on your SEO. That's the number one approach. We call it top-down approach. So first of all, we show you the big picture of the problem, and we let you dive deeper and decompose each of your problems, leading you to the list of problematic URLs at the end of the day. It saves a lot of time, and you are capable to start fixing the errors which will have the biggest impact because you see that the biggest part of your website have this issue. The number 2 approach to our platform is a lot of preset reports. We are doing a lot of preset insights for you. For example, when you have your logs integrated and when you have your full crawl at hand, there is the section where the crawl data is automatically overlapped with your logs data, and you are just getting the Google bots behavior visualization on your website. So, for example, you have the chart how Google bots behaves depending on the depths. So how far the page is located. And you see all your data just visualized in one chart, and it will show you, for example, that in your case that the pages not deeper than third click from the main page, like 60% of the pages on third click from the main page, they are visited by Googlebot. And started from the fourth click from the main page, only 25% of your pages are visited. So the outcome here that your commercial pages should be like closer to the main page, like third, second click from the main page. The same, you will understand how Googlebot behaves depending on the number of internal links on the page. And you will understand that in your case, all your commercial pages should have at least like 50-50 in links, internal links on the page, and it will dramatically increase the visibility for Googlebot. Or you will see how Googlebot behaves depending on the number of words on the page. And if the average number of words on the page is 500 words, and you see that the crawl ratio is only like 20% of such pages, this is definitely the opportunity for optimization, because when you increase it to 1,000, the crawl ratio will be 75%. And it will definitely bring you new rankings because you will get more pages visited by Googlebot and, of course, rank. That's why we are doing our best to visualize a lot of data for you, then to get a lot of preset, insightful charts and reports. And the third really, really important thing of JetOctopus, and actually this is also the game changer, and the owners of big websites, they really love this option, is the joint dataset option, when you have the opportunity to blend all the data which are integrated in JetOctopus and to play with all this information just in one data table. You don't have to export, for example, all of your pages with loading time more than like 2 seconds, then export the pages which are visited by Googlebot, and then export which pages which are getting impressions, and then try to merge it and to understand if your slow pages are getting impressions, if they are getting Googlebot's visits. So this is the usual way, and this is the manual and time-consuming way. We don't like it. In our case, all the data tables, all the data sets that are integrated in JetOctopus, you can easily join all of them and pick up information from each data set. For example, when you are right now at your 404 errors pages, so you're just the list, you have the list of 404 pages, and you want to understand if these pages are visited by Googlebot, so you have your crawl budget ways here, if they're getting impressions, if they're getting clicks, you can easily just join your logs data, join your Google Search Console, just pushing the one button, and then you will have this information to pick, and it will be added to these URLs just within seconds, really. And you didn't have to make any exports and any mergings. The human error is really high there. And on the other side, this is time consuming. That's why you don't do it on a regular basis. And here, we don't limit you with these options of playing with the data. You can make like limitless number of combinations, because the usual way, they make a sort of custom reports and custom combinations for you, and you are within the limits of this. They think this is the best way to go. We don't limit you with anything. You can play with any data which is integrated just in one place. And this is really, really handy.
And I want to continue on that conversation about what competitors do and don't do versus what you do and don't do. How did you succeed playing on the market with such other strong competitors all being bootstrapped at the same time? I'm curious how that kind of happened.
That's a really good question. First of all, I have to say, since the very first iteration of the platform, when we just entered the market with only the crawler, that was outstanding from the very first iteration. So it was the fastest, let's say. And for the big websites, it is important. Then there were a lot of product updates, etc., etc. We have the best log analyzer on the market. And as I said, when you have the website more than 10K pages, this is a very helping thing, and it opens a lot of insights for you that you won't be able to extract from any other tool. So if you don't have your bot's behavior at hand, you don't understand your SEO at the end of the day. So you have just hypotheses. I think it will work out. It depends, etc. The most important thing why we succeed is that we have a very strong technical predominance over our competitors. So we've built our platform dramatically other way than they built. And it leads us to like 10 times less cost line for processing this big data at the very beginning. That's why we are capable to charge the affordable price for these customers, and it won't be damping, That's why we are so open about these unlimited solutions, etc., because we have our economics, we do understand what it is all about, and we know what pains it covers. And our customers are just unable to offer such things, and this is our successful story, because we do give the big value they're just unable to get from our competitors, and not paying a Ferrari each month. This is the most important thing.
It is really scalable. Again, perusing through the website, there are multiple tiers, and you offer a lot of services with no extra fee. Now, if I'm crawling through 5,000 pages, I do have to pay a little more to crawl through, 20,000 pages or something like that. But that's understandable. And I don't know, I just found it very interesting that you offered some services on the very lowest tier and that same service on the very highest tier. It's just a matter of kind of the amount that it could be used. Is that another one of those differences between you and those competitors? Is this less packagey deals?
I like that you've asked this question. Actually, right now, we are the only players, the only cloud-based platform which has the open pricing page on the website, and which is absolutely transparent.
So everyone else requires you to contact them and get a quote?
A lot of things. They require you a lot of things. So you have to request, you have to give some information about your financial revenue for the last year, and they will bring you some pricing. And this is really tricky. This is not transparent, and this is absolutely not our approach. Our custom-centric approach is not on the paper. It is really our value, and it is our corporate culture. And that's why since the very first day, and we won't close our pricing page, our pricing policy is absolutely transparent, and it is based, one main criteria. It is based on the number of pages you want to process with the help of our platform. This is the only thing. We don't care how many domains there. We don't care how many users will be using this. We have all these options to share the whole account, or to share only one customer's website to your customer, and if you are an agency. So we only care about the number of data you want to process through our platform, which is absolutely fair. So this is our cost line. It is based on that. We don't care how much money you made, last year, because we had a lot of cases of the customers switching from our really expensive competitors who just came. They had like 1,000 pages, it's nothing, or 10K pages or something like that. But they are very good at making money, like in brick and stone, offline. So they have some online presence, but their main business is offline. And they've got such absolutely strange packaging policy just based on their revenue, not on the data which will be processed in this platform, but on the revenue that they've made for the last year. I think this is not the fair game, and this makes the situation on the market not fair. I think that the websites, they have a lot of pages, they have really big SEO challenges, because it is absolutely easy to make your 1,000 pages, all your 1,000 pages visited by Googlebot. That's not a problem at all. You can even make it without tools. But when you have like 1 million, 10 million, 50 million pages, this is really tough to do something if you don't have the right tools. And before JetOctopus came to the market, only the enterprise companies were capable to buy these tools, so to make something with their SEO. And not anymore. Right now, when you have more than 10K pages, you need the right tools, and you have the solution for that. And it will be very effective, very powerful. We'll have much more tools inside, really, more often. And it will be affordable to you.
That's wonderful. That's a perfect summation and a great way to wrap up. Before we get out of here, though, Julia, I'm going to ask you the same question I ask all my guests at the end of the show. With the proliferation of mental health awareness and the importance of it, I think in the e-commerce industry, it's even more important, because a lot of times it's a high stress environment. I find it's really important to have a healthy work-life harmony and kind of mental health hygiene a little bit. So I'm curious, for you, what sort of hobbies and interests do you practice in your free time to ensure that work-life harmony?
Oh, this is one of my favorite questions, really, actually. I will tell you more.
Please.
Yes. I have 3 kids. The youngest is even less than 2 years old. Then I have the private school. I have the philosophical community, apart from JetOctopus. And all of these projects, I'm the main responsible person there. And you understand that the volume of the workflow I have is really, really high, and the pressure, responsibility, etc. And the main thing which make this big workflow in harmony and which balance that is my main hobby is the big tennis. So I'm really, really passionate about big tennis. I'm playing tournaments there. I am absolutely crazy about different competitions there and about growing my skills, etc. And this is 2 hours training, and I'm just switching my head from all the questions I have. I'm fully focused on the game right now, and it gives a lot of energy to me. That's why this is my way of making it really happy for me, happy adventure for me, because I do need a lot of energy, and I do realize that tennis gives me this energy back.
No, that's beautiful. I don't know. I think that's really cool. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. And Julia, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. That was a big pleasure.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
I'd like to thank my guest, Julia Nesterets, for joining me on the show, and come back on Tuesday when I talk with Trudy McNabb, the co-founder of Design Packs, a quick and easy way to customize your Shopify store and add new modules directly to your current theme. Trudy is also the co-founder of Up at 5, a digital studio focused on data-driven web applications. For more information about Julia, you can connect with her on LinkedIn or follow her on Twitter at @JNesterets. To learn more about JetOctopus, visit their website, jetoctopus.com, or follow them on Instagram at jet.octopus. That's our show. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you come back to find new episodes being published every Tuesday and Thursday. Until next time.